It's an image that's unmistakably Australian. A hot summer's day, a backyard pool, and little kids doing what little kids do. It's how most of us grew up. But young children and water can be a deadly combination.
I should have heard her go into the pool. I should have heard her calling for me. Whether she did or not, I don't know, but I always... Why didn't I hear her?
It's just unguarded moments that can make all the difference. That's the frightening part about drownings, is that it's so silent, so quick. A few seconds and they're gone.
And they're gone.
You ready? Go!
Every week in Australia, one child under the age of 5 drowns. Not necessarily in a pool, it could be a dam, a creek, a bathtub, even a nappy bucket. That's one child every week dead from drowning. Then there's the 2 to 3 children every week who end up in the emergency ward of a hospital. Some suffer severe brain damage. It's been called a national disgrace. It's certainly an epidemic, and it can hit any family.
How are we doing, Kiralee?
It was last October when 3-year-old Kiralee Clifton disappeared from her Sydney home. She'd been playing outside with her older sisters when suddenly one of the girls told Mum Kiralee was missing.
Kiralee.
I wasn't panicking at that stage. I thought, she'd be around. She's her adventurous little self, so she'd be, probably climbing the tree and they'd missed her or something like that.
Did it cross your mind at all at this stage that Kiralee could be in the pool?
Not really, because she wasn't attracted to the pool. I think because it was green and not inviting, so no, it wasn't.
The water in the Cliftons pool had turned dark green because the filter pump was broken. So, with the pool fenced off and not being used, it was the last place Kiralee's parents, Shane and Bobby, thought she'd be.
Please, someone. Phone the police. I want my little baby home.
For 25 agonising hours as police and volunteers searched, little Kiralee lay hidden on the bottom of the pool, only metres from her parents.
One detective that we were talking to did tell us that with the leaf scooper that they were using, it made a waving effect, so it would move her body away from this leaf scooper, and that's actually why they didn't find her.
How do you think she got there?
I don't know. It's a big question for all of us. It's gates on the fence, doors on the back doors. She was always climbing, but we don't really know actually how she did get in there.
That's the pool. That's the pool.
This is water safety education, Laurie Lawrence style. He calls it the Kids Alive program, and he's taking it to schools all over Australia.
Yes, we do. Okay, get ready to clap.
What I want to tell you, mums, and it's never too early to start teaching your children to swim.
550 kids in the last 10 years have drowned in Australia. It's pretty heavy.
They're awful numbers.
Yeah, they're casualties. They're serious casualties.
Can we reduce the number of kids dying, Laurie?
Of course we can. That's the goal. The goal of the Kids Alive program is 0 preschool drownings in Australia. Let's go for it.
Go! So in he goes. Come on, mate. Come on.
Laurie's mantra is teach them early.
He's crying. Leave him. He's crying. He's back. I'd rather have a kid crying than a kid dead. I'd rather have a kid cry than a kid dead.
It seems only logical. The earlier you start teaching your children to swim, the better. But a leading doctors group has turned that thinking on its head. In fact, they claim that teaching a child under the age of 4 to swim may be dangerous. In controversial policy statements, the American Academy of Paediatrics has slammed the notion that early lessons save lives. It says programs that claim to make children safe in the water are misrepresenting what is possible and are giving parents a false sense of security. It goes on to claim that children are not developmentally ready for swimming lessons until after their 4th birthday.
Australian College of Paediatrics and now the Division of Paediatrics, representing 1,000 Australian paediatricians, agree with their American colleagues.
Professor John Pern, based at Brisbane's Royal Children's Hospital, is a paediatrician who's been studying childhood drownings for nearly 30 years.
The only proven way in which we can stop the epidemic of toddler drownings is by a child-proof safety barrier. That means, in fact, a safety fence, 1.2 metres in height, complying with the Australian standard, with a self-closing gate with a high hidden lock.
What's your view on swimming lessons?
Well, paediatricians think that water play and swimming is terribly important for children, but there is no evidence at this point of time that swimming lessons or swimming training for the little, very young toddlers really will in itself reduce the drowning rates.
It makes me angry because I know it's bullshit. And I can't, how else can I describe it? I really believe that those sort of statements can endanger kids' lives. Because parents may listen and not take their kids to swimming lesson. And that could be one little life lost.
Good girl. What a good girl. Look, what more evidence you need? You can't teach kids under 4. This little girl is just 2.5 years of age. 2.5. 2.5. I'd rather have her chances than some kid that's had no lessons. I'll give you the tip now, Peter, and you can tell that to your paediatrician friends. I'd rather have her chance of saving herself than a kid who's had no lessons, because a kid with no lessons will go straight to the bottom.
Isn't there the classic, the benefit outweighs the risk argument that someone is teaching the kid to swim?
Well, there may be a benefit, but there is just no evidence at all that it is helpful.
Kick. Oh, you're a good girl. Look at her go. Go, baby.
So how young is too young for swimming lessons?
Well, the Division of Paediatrics within the Royal Australasian College of Physicians doesn't think that swimming lessons for children under the age of 3 necessarily will solve the problem of drowning.
Kate, come on now.
Laurie Lawrence's daughter Kate was only 4 months old when he began teaching her to swim. 26 years later, and Laurie's now doing the same thing with other people's kids.
That's a good girl.
He says 4 months, not 3 years, is the time to start.
Caitlin, ready, go.
Down.
My own children could all swim anywhere, unaided, in the pool at 18 months. I should think if the parents are going regularly, that by 2, most children should be able to turn around, fall in, turn around, get back to the side and have the strength, the physical strength to pull themselves out.
Up! Oh! Hooray! Give me 5. You are a champion. Yes.
The Academy of Paediatrics say swimming lessons at an early age give parents a false sense of security.
Why would you not have swimming lessons? That's bloody stupid. Not to have swimming lessons and say they'll catch up when they're 5. They could be bloody dead when they're 5. You understand?
Go, Jake. Go to mummy.
With kids this young, Laurie's not trying to teach them the classic swimming stroke. This is all about survival. What to do if they fall in.
Turn to side. Ready, go. So it's under, turn, and back you go. So all the time we're conditioning to go back to the side. He knows that the shallow water is a safe haven.
If you can get to the side, there's a chance. And a chance is better than what we had, which was nothing.
Jake Hobbs was 2 years old when he drowned in his aunt's pool.
Words can't describe what it was like. It was, it was from the depths of my being, I screamed when I saw my son. And it's an image that, will always be with me, I think.
His parents, Mary and Brian, thought they'd done everything they could to safeguard Jake.
We were very vigilant parents all the time. We looked out for our children everywhere and everything. When we were at the pool, we knew that it wasn't safe. We locked all the doors. But he got out through the dog door. We didn't even think.
Jake was rushed to hospital by helicopter but died soon after. What happened next, the way the doctor broke the news, is hard to believe.
He said, your little girl has died. I said, my baby wasn't a girl, he was a little boy. And I thought for a moment that somebody else's little girl had died and it wasn't my Jake. And he said, well, he's dead, your son's dead. And I just, it was just, I just thought it was cruel. And our little boy was everything to us.
Did Jake have swimming lessons?
No.
It never entered our head that he would be put in an unsafe situation. If we could do it again,
We'd do it again. We'd give him lessons.
we'd give him lessons. We'd recommend that
At what age?
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Did Kiralee have swimming lessons?
No.
Do you think they would have helped her if she had?
Yes, I do. If she knew how to get back to the edge, she would have been able to call out for me. I would have been able to get her out of the pool. She would have had the confidence to do something rather than just slip under the water.
Since Kiralee's death last year, Shane and Bobby have tried to make life as normal as possible for their remaining children. That includes getting back into the pool.
They're children themselves, and they can't be stolen of their childhood to... All kids like swimming, so... In a way, it's like she's there. She's swimming with them. She's still here with us.
Mary and Brian are dealing with their grief in a different way.
When you've lost a child, you just know how quick and how easy it can happen. Even with all the precautions, it can still happen, and I'm just not prepared to take that risk anymore. I would never have a pool.
We're going to swim, can't you see? La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee.
I just feel now like I've got a tiger by the tail. If I stop doing this, I know the drowning stats will go up.
Breaststroke.
I'm not trying by starting the kids early to make them superstars. I'm not trying to make an Ian Thorpe or a Dawn Fraser or a Shane Gould. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to give them basic skills, basic independent skills that may save their lives. And I believe that it can. No, I know that it can.
Hello, I'm Liz Hayes. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9 Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.